Hey guys, we've got something real special for you today. It's about a helmet that was featured in the anime Sword Art Online, which can take you to a virtual world. Very different from the ones we have right now. A little too different. We're not going to talk about the anime in this video, but about that helmet and whether or not it's a very distant reality because technology just keeps getting crazier. NerveGear. Will it soon be a reality? As we make more and more advancements in the scientific world, the more we get closer to getting those gadgets that we've only seen in sci-fi or futuristic movies. Fingers crossed that we don't get anything out of Black Mirror. This time, fortunately for us, it's not Black Mirror, but the anime Sword Art Online and its very unique helmet called NerveGear that could become a reality. Though there are still many more advancements to be made before we can get our hands on this type of technology, being positive about it might just work, and you could go inside any world you want to be part of. But you might ask how this might work and what it will look like, right? So, this is how you can play with immersive reality. First off, the workings of NerveGear. When our brain is in an environment, it takes in information from that environment and sends it to our senses. For example, light fields in our retinas or sounds in our ears, right? That's 5th grade science. Well, what about if there's no environment to take in, like when we have our eyes closed? Are you also thinking about dreams? Then you're correct. That's exactly how NerveGear works. Let's give you the simple explanation for this now. Visionary creation. When we're sleeping, the brain displays into the form of dreams, and for a technology to emulate a full dive experience like SAO, we need to work alongside our brain, taking in certain signals and thoughts, like moving arms to slash swords, while also creating new signals, like environmental data to send directly to the brain. It'd be like having two brains, yours and another that's giving you this data via sight, smell, touch, sound, and taste. For sight, think about when Kirito closed his eyes and yelled, "Link start," which led to the images bypassing the retina and displaying it directly to the brain. When we're awake, our retinas are taking in light fields and processing it as an image, processing it as life. But when we imagine, we're remembering the forms of light to materialize images. So when we dream, it's almost like a middle ground. On one hand, there's no light to process, but on the other hand, dreams can be as vivid as life itself. So for technology to induce this middle state, it'd need to emulate this dream state by sending images directly to the brain, without displaying light to the retinas, while still allowing the brain to function as if one is awake. Boy, that sounds like it's going to be one tricky job for anyone creating our future VR helmets where we can just dive right into this new world and become the characters we want to be. Anyway, let's continue. It's possible that we won't be closing our eyes when it happens in real life. It could just be that we'd keep our eyes open, which will be a lot easier for us and for the developers. Let's say there's a screen in front of us much like current VR goggles, but what about the other senses? Secondly, what about taste, smell, and touches in virtual reality? There's no technology so far that emulates taste sensations by working directly with the brain, but we're pretty close to doing it externally. Apparently, there's a technology that can transmit low currents through silver electrodes. The device can simulate sourness, bitterness, and salty tastes. For sounds, we already have the technology, your earbuds and headphones. And for touches, well, while the NerveGear sends electromagnetic signals to the brain to emulate touch sensations, we can do something similar, again from the outside of the body, with ultrasound transfusers. There's something that projects the SAO-inspired ultrasonic waves onto the skin, creating a different sensation. There's also a suit that specializes in putting pressure on the skin to make you feel like you're touching the thing that you see right in front of you in the virtual reality. But is there a possibility? Now, we know that's a lot of what ifs, and the creation of an actual NerveGear depends on people first making strides in different kinds of technology. We won't say it's never going to happen, but at the moment, it doesn't look near and won't for a long time. We are optimistic, but the consoles needed to run a game like SAO must be way more powerful than the best consoles today. Way more powerful. We actually also don't know how many gigabytes a game like SAO has. Though, playing with full bodysuits, walking on treadmills, and wearing gloves like in Ready Player One will probably be possible a lot sooner than SAO's NerveGear. But we just don't know enough about the human mind. Doctors and scientists are still trying to learn how it functions, and seeing how everyone's brain functions differently, creating a game that generalizes the use of our minds looks very difficult, even to people like us, who in no way have enough information about either technology or the brain. But we do know that control of the character with brain signals is pretty much fictitious right now. Maybe the thing we're closest to is simulating taste, touch, and smell, and even that looks like it'll be quite a while. Our own body movement also needs to be inhibited without damaging us. Stuff like this could be possible in the future. The good news for us is that through global positioning and software, it'd be possible to join a virtual reality with a virtual layer by creating a virtual image that is just barely on top of or touching the edge of any object in reality. By doing so, we'll experience a fully virtualized world with the exact same dimensions as the real world while being able to move our bodies or play inside of it. While overlapping images onto reality, it'd also be possible to create extra objects, each having AI, that allow them to roam around in the virtual realm and be interactable thanks to the use of special objects or a suit recognized by the satellites. The only problems that aren't manageable include the fact that the monsters are just images that you see, but not touch, and also the fact that they cannot make an impact with you, and thankfully, you can't die, unlike in SOA. If we take into account that the virtual reality of beta testing started a few years ago with the launch of Morpheus, which are virtual reality glasses from Sony, it's not hard to believe that there could be something very close to what was shown in the anime. After all, look at where cell phones were 10 years ago, only served to make connections. Today, they're handheld computers with more powerful processing than a top PC had 10 years ago. Now, what will the NerveGear look like? It's possible that the NerveGear might not look exactly how it looks in the anime. In the anime, the NerveGear is a streamlined helmet coated in dark blue. At the back, it has a wire of the same color stretched out of a long pad. It also has a battery and internal memory to store data from games. 30% of the gear's weight is from its internal battery, which means it's quite heavy when it's placed on your head. Considering what it has the ability to do, we'd get that it's bound to be quite a handful in real life too. And what does the research say? We know we said it's not a possibility, but science might differ, and we have a surprise. This field of research on virtual reality is already decades old. Its first appearance were on either university experiments or DARPA high-level security clearance R&D technological development platforms. It's known as psychotronics. Its studies are as early as the first encephalography during the year 1875 by Richard Catton. Contrary to popular belief, it did succeed, but was first hidden to the eyes of the public until the decades of 1970 until now. In these times, a physiological researcher named Dr. Jose Manuel Rodriguez Delgado found that ELF waves, also known as extremely low frequency at 6 Hz into the 12 Hz, can affect human emotional responses. By then, researchers advanced further until getting into the bandwidth of microwaves for more optimized control of the mind. Recently, neuropsychological researches in the matter are already being disclosed in television programs, such as documentaries in History Channel and Discovery Channel with very popular titles like that of Through the Wormhole, showing what appears to be a headband. Now, it's a headband that produces complex electrical signals that can control human reflexes, and the researcher suggests it'll make education much easier in the future. Sound familiar? Because SAO's tech is similar, and the NerveGear isn't impossible, even if it's way into the future. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on NerveGear? Do you believe it's possible? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.